Okay, this is a quick video regarding improvements we've made to Walter. I'm not going to do any videos on this, but we replaced both the cigarette lighter socket, or the AUX socket, and the original USB socket here with two quick charge 3 twin USB units, which also have a button to show the voltage. They allow us to, with a short USB cable, to power up our tablet for navigation and the rear camera when the tablet's placed in the holder there. Currently I'm just working on another change. The original Apache 700 came with a really, let's face it, useless 500 milliamp old charger in the Sergeant cupboard. So what I'm doing today is I'm upgrading that to one that's quick charge 3 and PD. So what I've had to do, it's very simple. There's just a simple connection that goes to the back of that, back of the original unit. So all I've had to do is to enlarge this hole slightly, because most of the Amazon USB sockets are about 29 to 30 mil, and this I think was around, the diameter of the back section was about 28. So I've used I looked at all sorts. I was thinking of hole boring another one at the side, or actually boring a socket on the underside here next to this vent, but I decided to try and keep the OEM-ness of the van and just replace the rubbish USB socket with a good one. So what I've had to do, I've used a plasterboard knife, because access is very poor. I can't get anything into this area here without scarring the woodwork. So obviously you can see I've put some tape there to protect it while I did the work. But yeah, I just essentially used a knife to slightly enlarge that hole, and it's worked out perfectly. This now fits without any issues. Nice tight fit, and that will sit in this door. It does mean, I mean, obviously with this, when you've got cables in it, the cables have to spill out a bit like this, have to spill out with this not shutting quite right, but that's okay. I'd rather have a decent power supply here. If somebody sat in the dinette, we can just loop the cables over and charge a phone or a tablet via PD or quick charge 3. So yeah, this is one of the USB improvements I'm doing today. There will also be another one at this end of the cab. I'm either looking to put one in here via whether you can see that the light's a bit dim there, but behind that trunking where the air heating goes, I'm looking to squeeze in another one of these USB chargers, or I will obviously I'll be able to put another one on the right hand side at the back of the TV that obviously comes down. So I'll extend this video with that when I'm doing that. For now, I'm just going to continue to finish this off, and I'll catch up with you guys later. Okay, this is a quick follow-up to the USB install in the Sergeant cupboard. Obviously, as I said, I removed the old junk 500 milliamp effort and fitted this PD. I think this is a 36 watts, so it can do quick charge 3 and PD at reasonable charge rates. Yeah, looks perfect. No damage to the cornice here. This is historical marking, I think, from the seal. But yeah, so while I had the idea to put one underneath here, in the sort of soffit, if you like, of the cupboards, Obviously there would be a tendency for the cables to drop out, although they're a good interference fit, and you wouldn't need to have the cupboard open. But just to stop any, you know, keep with the OEM-ness of the vehicle, I changed this. So as you can see, I'm going to plug this into the Quick Charge 3. Just got it the right way around first time, which is amazing. And like before, you're always going to have this tail, cable tail. I wonder whether it can actually squeeze it between the two cupboards. In fact, you can. So yeah, nice little mod there to get somebody at the table in the dinette a USB-C or any sort of charging facility. The nice thing about this is it's got the voltage indication, so when you're doing things with your sergeant, you can quickly understand whether you're charging or not. That display is actually controlled by a button. By default it's off. You can switch it on and off, and you can do that through the plastic screen as well. So it's just a nice little mod there for charging stuff quickly, modern devices quickly. So I'll switch that off. I mean, there will be some parasitic load from this, and I haven't established that yet, because it's hooked up to the 12-volt system. Yeah, I'll probably get some measurements done on that, so people understand when you fit these sort of cheap 2 for £20 USB chargers from Amazon, just how they're going to affect your battery life if the van's in storage. So yeah, that summarises the USB socket install or upgrade in the Sergeant cupboard. So this is the Apache again, the Autotrail, and I'm looking to, as I said earlier, to fit another USB socket around here to power media boxes and things like that, or maybe put it on this side here. I'm also looking to put the mains power supply for the Avtex, the AVTEX, just strap it to this side here with some P-clips maybe to keep it out of the way. Because while you're on mains, you may as well use the mains adapter rather than using 12 volts. So what I'm going to do, I want to piggyback off the back of this aux socket. 4 amps is plenty for that, 120 watts. So what I've got to do is get this frame off and get to the wiring at the back of that. Perhaps bore a hole here, a 30mm hole for the, once again, the USB socket from Amazon, which has got Quick Charge 3 and PD. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off. Now these bezels, they've got clip points from the underside, the side and the top, but I don't recommend doing that. I recommend coming in from an angle just here and levering it up slightly. I also recommend, certainly in cold weather, using a hairdryer to warm up the plastic so you don't crack the bezel. Nobody wants to see broken socket frames, and I don't know what the availability is of this sort of thing. So yeah, this is the start of the install for the second USB socket. I mean, I have considered obviously taking the wiring across the back of this panel into the cupboard and bring it out here for an easy access USB, but once again I'm thinking of keeping everything hidden. At the end of the day, if you just need longer USB leads to get down to where you might charge your devices, so be it. So I'm perhaps thinking here or even here for the extra charging point USB socket. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so here we go, guys. I've decided to put the torch on here, so the lighting might be a bit strange. I've decided to put the USB socket in this corner and use the heating vent duct to hide the cabling. You can see here I've now pulled the socket and the aerial and 12 volt augs forward, and you can see there's my coat hanger that I'm going to use to pull through my 20 amp twin cord cable through that hole. It'll sit behind the ducting, which is just there, and the socket itself will sit through the other side, and it just sneaks in alongside the heating pipe there, the blown air heating inside the conduit. Now it's a little bit close, and you could argue there's a little, in the winter there could be a lot of heat in that space, but it's, I would just avoid using it during the winter if I think it's if the air heating's being used, but I think it'll be okay. Certainly in the better weather, when you tend to use your motorhomes, there won't be any issue with the overheat of the USB socket. So yeah, it'll be tightly nestled in that area there. But yeah, use the old coat hanger method to hook a duck basically. I drilled the hole level with the holes that are drilled in the conduit. I drilled a 10mm hole there, and yeah, classic coat hanger. Hook your cable through, and then obviously we'll splice that into the positive and negative here that go to the old socket. So it'll be a really nice hidden solution. So here we go, guys. Here's the finished cupboard with the rear of your USB socket just poking through here. I've had to slightly compress the tube there, but not by much, just to get the cables free of any stresses. I kept the original length of cable that came with the socket, as it included a fuse. So I've used a really high quality large current Wago just here to join the cable. On the other side we have the socket's now mounted in the corner, which is perfect for any charging of equipment, so phones and powering of media boxes or anything. This is an earlier Apache 700 which has this table. The newer ones don't have this table. They have a large fridge, and this has disappeared. We like this. So what's left to do is just to tee in the supply cable into the cable here that does the aux socket. And once again, I'll be using Wagos to do that. My preferred solution. I think these are in excess of 20 amps, so more than good enough for the job. So yeah, I'll do another video when it's all done. So here's the wiring in the TV area. The two Wagos, yellow and white is the positive in this case, orange white the negative. So I'm just going to finish those off by taping the levers down, and yeah, push the cables back, put the socket faces back on, and job done. I've already checked that we have the USB socket down here is working. You can see it indicating the 14.4 volts. You can switch that on and off, as I've said on the previous video. So I think that's really neat. Nice location for a fast charge USB, piggybacking off the original aux socket in the TV cupboard. Thanks for watching.